What up, y'all? Let's go ahead and surprise some folks on the ladder, catch them off guard, and just deal some wins with some decks that have been doing surprisingly well when it comes to dealing with the meta. So up first, that's right, we have Goldango EX making a little splashback. Who knows where this goes into next week, but as of right now, it's actually kind of cooking, doing a little bit better for itself. You're running it with obviously two Gimmighoul, two Goldingos. You have your two Earthworm here and one Galarian Meowth and one Berserker. What I like about this is that it gives you the opportunity to be able to take out an Oricorio if you need to with the one Galarian Berserker, but it also helps you recycle that Metal Core barrier. That is what we like to see here, because all we got to do is build up to the Goldingo, get that spinning rush going, get the Earthworms there, right? Like you have the one, the Leaf is there to do the shenanigans, do all the things, but having the iron supply into the Goldingo, feed it, just continue to feed it, continue to feed it, continue to feed it. Maybe even spend a turn like iron supply and then add a turn to a Galarian Meowth, so that way your Berserker is ready to go if you see that you're going in against an electric deck. But if you're not, feed your Goldango EX, because Berserker's main thing is so that way you can essentially block 150 worth of damage, which is amazing, right? Because now you just get to build up this Goldango freely, whether you're protecting the Earthworm for just a couple of turns, just so that way you can have that double protection, or when your Goldango EX is finally in front attacking, you can just pop off and then essentially have a medical barrier. Once your Goldango is up 160, 200, 240, like it snowballs very fast, very scary for your opponents. And so in between the three medical barriers, your lucky Ice Pop Goldango can come in with a splash. And so I really do like this this tweak, this addition to Goldango, and not just going necessarily all in on Goldango, because you could essentially run this and like take these out just so that way you are more likely to have your Earthworm, but it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. So we then move on to two more metal decks. This is Melmetal EX, and I kind of like this. I think this is really cool here. You are just going into your Melmetal EX. If you go first, you can try to pull some shenanigans in here. You have your Metal Core Barrier, you have your Steel Apron, maybe even run a Memory Light in this, but this variation did really well as well too. Surprisingly, in a few tournaments, folks have picked this deck up and gone like 6-2, has gone like 6-3, right? Like I'm just like, okay, I'm here for it. So Melmetal EX is pretty nasty with it, right? So you deal 80 damage for with 3 energy, but you also do 150 if you have Pokemon Tool, which is why you see that we're running 4 tools on there. Even if it disappears, you get the damage taken, but you also get the offense. So Metal Core Barriers allow you to be defensive and offensive at the same time, being able to hit for 150 damage. You clear a Mega Altaria with red and with weakness, which is actually really nice to be able to one-shot and take care of things. Sabrina in here to help slow things down, so that way you can amass safely and not feel like you're getting attacked right away. You have this one Melmetal in here just to deal with any Oricorio shenanigans, but having to go through 170 HP that's hitting for 150 like each turn, they're trucking, and you just got to build on that. So I really like Melmetal EX when it first initially came out, has gotten being able to play with it, tool with it, and so people are tinkering around with it, getting it back into the scene, saying hey, we can build on this. And quite frankly, if you are able to build up Guzzlord, if you're able to build up Steelix, why not do the same with your Melmetal EX, where you don't have the ramp for steel, you have the damage reduction, in which those other two decks don't have right away, right? Between your Metal Core Barrier and the Steel Apron off the rip, you get that pretty nicely. So then we move on to some shenanigans. I saw this deck. It was the only deck. It was only one, and I looked up 6 or 7 tournaments. There was this only one here, and I was like, you know what? I ain't mad at it, right? So you have your Phalanx here, the coordinated link. Yo, I'm gonna show this one to you all as well too, because you probably don't see this one card very often. Ability coordinated unit. If you have another Phalanx in play, this attack does 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. This takes 20 less damage from attacks from your active Pokemon. So you get to attack for 1 energy for 40, and they do minus 20 damage to you. So you just need to have one on the bench. Essentially, don't let it get knocked out. So once it, like, if it gets low enough, you just retreat, go into the other one, start attacking. I kind of like this. Really, what you're essentially trying to do here is just get the early chip in, right? Phalanx is here to put in the work. Hitmontop is here to put in the work in the front and in the back. You have your Rocky Helmets, so that way Rampardos can just come in and just do things. The Hitmontop softens things up for the Cyrus, and you just hit away for the Rampardos. There are all non-EXs, so your opponent does have to get through 3 Pokemon in order to take down this deck. And if you're in the world in which it's like Phalanx, I'm hitting things, now here's deal with 1 Rampardos and then deal with 2 Rampardos. If the damage reduction that the opponent was seeing was significant enough, right? Because this reminds me of Furfrou with without all of the steps, but you like it in here just because it's fighting. But Furfrou takes minus 20, and it takes minus 20 damage. It does do 10 less, but that deals with a lot of things. Babies can't really get through to the damage with you. You're taking, your basic Pokemon can't do a lot of non-EX basic Pokemon can't do a lot of damage to you as well. So you get those few opportunities, those few chances to get those attacks in as well, which is like pretty nice. And if there's a second, I mean, you can do this with the other ones, but if there's a second Phalanx on here, you get to one-shot Nova Choreo. And who doesn't like that? Or do you one-shot? No, you don't. You do go up to 60. But shenanigans. I really like the fact that they threw in a big Masalada in here as well. Don't want to do the Pokemon Center Lady here because, we might have the Cyrus on that turn or something. So the healing the 10 and clearing your special condition is also really fun. We then move on to some Dragonite action, and now we're running it with Psychic. With this having Memory Light, I'm not mad at this running Psychic Energy fully. Because you get the opportunity to just do that and just build up. But your main attackers really are Dragonite, right? Like that's really your main attackers, and then your Indeedee can have some fun with it. So even running this Psychic, Lightning, and Water, I wouldn't be upset at, and that's probably where I would lean towards. Even with the Memory Light, I would probably lean towards that because just in case I only have, Psychic, right? There's a world in which you don't get to have all of the things. I can still Memory Light evolve into it in case that they're being very scary. And still build up because I have 160 HP. I have the 2 Indeedees for heal. The Comfey is actually really nice because of the Psychic Energy. Because what Comfey does is it's Flower Shield. So any bond with Psychic Energy that's attached to it gets no special conditions. I'm now, because of Dragonair, playing Dragonite with all these different kinds of builds have been really fun. I've tested this out with Ogerpon. I've tested this out with Aerodactyl to disrupt evolutions as well. And so this kind of Psychic build in which I get to protect just having the Psychic build, so that way, one, I have Indeedee as support in terms of healing and as an attacker too, and having Comfey here to say, hey, no sleep, no burn, no poison. So what's in front of me is what's in front of me. That's pretty awesome. Neutering a meta deck off rip because you've slotted in a tech card like Comfey in here is pretty great, which is why, again, these new variations of the decks that we're playing that we don't see very often, these are the games that help you climb, or these are the decks that help you climb very quickly because no one is playing around Dragonite, Indeedee, EX, and Comfey, right? You didn't watch this video if you didn't click this video. You had no idea that this is in here, and like that's really, really cool. So I really do like Hiking Trail. I like Maintenance. I like Copycat in here as well too. Again, searching for cards to ensure that you can get into your sets here. That's really all the important thing. The touch with Memory Light and Psychic Energy. Let me know in the comments right now. Do you think it's Psychic, Water, and Electric or Lightning, or is it just Psychic? Let me know. I'm very curious as to like how you would run the energy for this deck. But as we continue, this isn't seeing a lot of play, but it's pretty good. And I think the one addition of adding the Celebi here is pretty cool. You're hoping that you start off with your Eevee, going into your Leafeon EX, and then building up to attack with 70 damage, and then the following turn, just charge it up your Celebi or charge it up your TOS or Pokémon, and that's it. Like, that is what you're going for. You want your Leafeon to be your like mini wall, you starting planes, you Erica, you Leaf Cape that thing, and then you go down here. So if we get starting planes up, we boost up to 150, the Leaf Cape boosts up to 180, and now Celebi's kind of scary. Having 180 HP, it's kind of scary now, because one of the downsides of using like these grass types, especially, right, like they have powerful effects, any energy, no special conditions. Celebi, you can do upwards to like, you know, infinite damage, right, or 999, right, like it's not gonna let you go past that. But this right here, with 180 HP, it can live a hit. That's scary. That is scary. Being able to do multiple rounds of your powerful bloom, because if for every single grass energy that you have, you get to flip your coin. If it's heads, you multiply that by, you know, it's multiples of 50 from there. And the downside was its low health, and being able to boost it up by 50, because we now have the additions to the stadium, and then you have you know, obviously your Leaf Cape as tools. That's pretty good here. So Forest Breath into building up your Celebi to ensure, and then having your Tail Masters to ensure that there's no sleep shenanigans or anything else like that is really, really nice here. The Leafy Cyclone, just to ensure that you just deal with Oricorio, right? Like that's just why this one card is in here. Otherwise, you just don't really ever play it, because you just have so many more powerful things that you can be doing. So we continue to look at these decks here, and we pop off into another grass deck, which again, slotting in that Tail Master Pokemon and into the typing in which you get to attack. I think this stuff makes a lot more sense to me, in which you get to use Tail Master if you need to. There are definitely a lot of decks like slotted in, but I think sleep isn't as prevalent as enough to throw Tail Master into anything as you would in the EX, right? Like, you get to heal constantly all the time. So for those thicker decks, and not using, you know, like obviously Indeedee has been used in Hydreigon, has been used with Steelix, has been used with Guzzlord, right, has been used in Dark Tina decks, right, like where like the energy is not psychic, but it has a major use in keeping those things alive. You're not, and like you're gonna use that every single game, whereas TMS, you're not worried about sleep every single game. So I really do like the insertion of TMS in more so in grass decks, right, instead of just like trying to slot it anywhere. But I really do like this. I think we've seen a little reignition or reignite, or folks who are starting to remember that Decidueye EX is a very powerful card. Having skill dives for your Rowlet and for your Dartrix to ensure that you can soften up anything, to just make sure that that Pierce of Pace comes through. It's really great here. And now you have, right, like before it was just double Rowlet, and then you just kind of like figure out whether you're going on EX or EX. But now, like, there's 2 EXs that they have to get through, or like they can get through a Chingling, a Decidueye, and then a Decidueye EX, or like you get your TLFs all set up and ready to go. So I just like the fact that this has a little bit more options, and all the options make sense here. But building up into just 2 attacks, Razor Leaf or Pierce the Pain, or into that Sniping Arrow, and just taking things out in the back, it's really, really strong. Like taking out key supporters like a Dino, a Frigibax, right? Like taking out those basics, a Swablu, y'all. It's just, it makes life that much easier when you just don't have to worry about the secondary evolution. Do you get the full points that you would have gotten if they were going to go into an EX? No. But do you really want to deal with the Mega Charizard Y blasting 250 damage to you? Absolutely not. So let me take it out before it gets a chance to do that. And so that's really, really great here. That's the strength of having ones like these up in the back, and seeing this kind of mix in here is really, really nice. So we move to this deck, which was an interesting cook. So I'm gonna play this down here, and I really just kind of like how they put things all together here. So behind my we have starting planes here, and then we have a Mesagoza down here as well. So there's one of each for the stadiums. I think the Mesagoza is an interesting choice because you only have 2, 4, 5, 6 Pokemon So I don't know if I need Mesagoza in here. Maybe I throw this in for an extra, like maybe even like a nurse Pokemon Center lady, in addition to a big Masada, or maybe I just add in an extra giant cape. But the personal pilot this, or throw those Mesagoza in here. Tornado, or I guess this is for the Tornadus, because Tornadus, I actually have looked this up as well too, y'all. Blow through 40. But it does 80 damage for 2 energy if there's a stadium in play. So maybe maybe we just have 2 starting plays just to ensure that this pops off. And that's pretty good, right? Pichu Tornadoes start. Throw it a second. We start attacking. You can then build up your Mega Kangaskhan in the back while you have these 2 energies going. You have your Oricorio just in case you need a wall while you're building something else up. Ilima, bring him right back out and just do all that again here, right? And Ilima works for your Tornadus or works for your Mega Kangaskhan. So if you really don't want to lose your Tornadus and just like attack again, you can if you really wanted to. But really, you're saving this Ilima for your Mega Kangaskhan. So I really liked this, like being pretty cool here, getting that 2 energy pretty quickly. And having the stadiums here to boost it is like kind of nice. And I guess your Mesagoza can help you find your Tornado so that way you can get that action right away. So maybe now that I think about it, that like kind of makes sense. But after that, it's kind of tooly in here, right? You're running these 1-ofs in your deck here. Let's ensure that, and I guess the Mesagoza, again, if you are flipping heads, allows you to pull out Pokemon, so that way you have better chances of grabbing these cards here as well. But Sabrina, Giovanni, Osiris, or Red, and Ilima, Copycat, right? Like 1, 2, 3 directly support your Mega Kangaskhan to ensure that you can get that. Cyrus to make sure nobody runs out of here. But the addition of a Tornadus being able to put in play 90 HP, 110, 130 with the starting planes and the giant cape, dealing 2 energy for 80, and you're only losing 1 point is actually a pretty cool addition into the Pichu Mega Kangaskhan Oricorio, right? Like we've seen this here, but being able to add this is actually kind of pretty sweet. Seeing like how you can really pull this out and just make this a lot more viable with the tools that we have on hand. And speaking of electric decks, well, Pikachu's trying to come back. So this mix here is with Vikavolt Oricorio. This Pikachu EX is our Thunderbolt, 150, discard all the energy for this Pokemon, so you're using this just kind of like to snipe things. And so you're weakening things down with Vikavolt. Sophocles allows you to do plus 30 damage to your opponent's active, so you're dealing 2 energy for 100. But this opponent, like when they get attacked with disconnect, they can't run any item cards from their hand. So you grab in 1 rare candy, 2. Now there's no more items, and it's 140 HP. Right? It's not Chingling that has only 30 HP, and then therefore you can take care of that right away, right? There's 140 HP telling you that you can't play any items and you have to get rid of this thing. And that's pretty tough. And once you get this second energy up there, you crackly toss into 1 and then switch out into Vikavolt and start attacking right away. That's pretty great. And then you can give all your energy to Pikachu, retreat, get this off, and then pop off from there, right? Like there is like get through Vikavolt, but you're going to be dealing with losing 70 to 100 worth of damage per turn, and then you get hit with the 150 to finish things off. And that's just kind of like the spinny here, right? You want them to get through these Vikavolts, right? Like Pichu really just slaps something in real quick for the Pikachu, but your main focus is Vikavolt build up, and then get your energy built up with your Thunderbolt, and just kind of do some damage. Which is really nice. And then folks are just kind of bringing it back. We got the starting planes here. So we boost all these HP up by 20. Is it enough? I don't know, right? Like Pikachu EX goes to 140, 140. And then, I mean, 140 is where folks are at typically. So is it up? Probably. But to see Circle Circuit Pikachu, you get to jump to 2 energy for 90 because you're filling up your bench with all lightning Pokemon. You have your Oricorio. This Tapu Koko is Volt Switch. So you have your 2 Pikachus to help build this up. But essentially, if they're running only EXs, or if you're like, you know, if it's like a perfect deck for this is like Entei Charizard decks, just Volt switching behind your Oricorio, because what you do is you get to the front, you attack for 70, and then you switch out immediately, and you can put your Oricorio back up front. They can't attack you. Oricorio switches out, and then you just continue to do that attack. You weaken it enough finish it off with either a Thunderbolt here or a Circle Circuit here. So I'm actually very curious about this. Pikachu EX was one of the most disgusting Pokemon to play back in Genetic Apex, you know, right at launch, and to see it like be a choice of card in today's meta and put up, you know, a fight in the tournaments felt kind of crazy. So let me know, yo, what do y'all think of these new builds? And tell me down below, what secret decks are y'all hiding right now? What are y'all clicking to climb up into this rank and take these wins? I myself am very interested in trying this one out, and definitely that Pikachu EX deck. But let me know what y'all think down below. And as always, y'all, if you enjoy the vibes of the channel, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, the notification bell button so you miss out on thing. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.